They've done it again. Johan Durant and Stephen Mitchell are the APTA national champions for the second year in a row. And there you have it, your champions, Anna Maria Zabori and Florentina Harnisch.
APTA Tour. We are live at the Stanwich Club in Greenwich, Connecticut for the Which Platform Tennis Tournament, brought to you by the APTA membership and the local sponsors, Josh Sellers, Performance Optimal Health, and Two Roads Brewing Company. I'm Patty Hogan alongside the one and only Brad Easterbrook, bringing you a round of 16 men's match between Philip Rams and Mike Wagner versus Anton Babitsky and Louis Valclair. Brad, can you tell us about the players?
Absolutely, Patty. Well, we see no players on the screen right now, so once they get out there, I'll tell you about them. But let's just talk about the day. And this is our first year back from a year of regional tournaments, and already the first tournament of the year on the men's side has a couple of teams from Chicago out here. So we're starting to get back to that whole country feel. You know, it's not just a regional event. And you and I are sitting here live at the event. It's a perfect day to play paddle. It's cloudy. It's getting to be more paddle weather. It's actually in the 40s today. It's been about 80 degrees or 70 degrees every other day. So this will be interesting out here.
Yeah, Brad, there's a potential for a little bit of rain passing through during this morning's matches. As you see, the players are now on the show court, Brad. They were warming up on other courts, so we would expect to be underway in a little under 10 minutes here. And now you can tell us who we see.
Oh, absolutely. So just on the bottom half of your screen,
when
they jump on out there, is Mike Wagner and Philip Rams. Philip Rams is on the right-hand side, and he just peeked out there on our screen in the white hat and the blue top. And his partner, Mike Wagner, in the black top on the bottom of your screen, bottom left of your screen. And on the top of your screen, we have Anton Babitsky in the light blue top and the white hat, and his partner, Louis Valclair. This should be a really good matchup. A lot of talent on the court. It's going to be hangs on a few things. You know, Rams and Wagner have a lot of firepower from the backcourt. Mike Wagner doesn't hit his serve hard. He generally just taps it in the box and stays back and works it from the back. Rams, really good all-court player with cuts, spins, a lot of attacking play. And Babitsky's got a great backhand. And Valclair can really do everything. It's just a question of discipline.
Yeah, he's so talented, has every shot in the book, and as we've seen over the years, Brad, it's coming through. It's trying to minimize the amount of shot selection you have in the moment of truth and really choosing the right shot. And that's how these guys go to the next step in the sport and be considered one of the top guys in the game. It's just that discipline and execution, you know, when it's close. And every match in this tournament, the draw is loaded. I mean, this is from the top half of the draw, and one of the great things you're seeing out here with the Viking shirt on Mike Wagner in the Pittsburgh Steeler colors, we're back to travel. We've got Pittsburgh in here, we've got two Chicago teams, and we couldn't be happier because with COVID, the last limiting travel, safe travel for everyone. Last year was a real challenging year. The APTA came through flying colors. We were able to pull off nationals, you know, albeit in April. But I think we did a great job out of Canoebrook. And so now it's a new year, new season. Thank God right now it's a dry court, Brad.
Yep, that was a tough finish this season with all the rain last year at Nationals. So why don't we take a quick look at the draw, because you mentioned all the teams we have. And we'll see if we can get our producer, John, here to bring up the draw. And there we go. And as you mentioned before, our top seeds in the tournament this year, you know, you got Hughes and Powers on the bottom, and the top seeds, the second seeds, would be Bursch and Ardoya. And the winners of this match will go on to face either the winner of Araya Parsons versus Humphreys and Essex Koenig, and the teams you mentioned from Chicago, Compton McNerney, Granger Lambropoulos, team from Pittsburgh, which would be Rams and Wagner. So it's going to be a terrific draw out here. We are stacked with players. And as the first tournament of the year, Patty, you always wonder what kind of shape these guys are in. Are they really in top playing shape, or are they using this event to sort of get themselves, boost them into top playing shape?
Yep, and one of the things, Brad, that's interesting in this draw, and also in the women's draw, you have some different combination of players pairing up because this is part of the APTA Tour this year, Brad, and so players accumulate points toward play, so they don't want to sit out a tournament. They've got to be on the APTA Tour and jump in as many events as they are eligible for, and they will get points. You know, if Louis plays this, you know, he will earn points. If he plays the next tournament and pairs up with Philip Rams, doesn't matter. They'll keep accumulating their points throughout the season for the new APTA Tour.
Yeah, that's terrific, and that's a great point, Patty. It used to be that teams accumulated points. Now it's individual players. And as it goes in there, let's take another quick look. Now we got all 4 players truly on the court here, so you can really see them. And on the bottom of your screen, you know, is that's Philip Rams in the white hat, like I said before. His partner Mike Wagner in the black Viking shirt. Far side in the light blue, Anton Bobitsky. And his partner is Louis Vauclair in the all black on the top of the screen there, top right. So this should be, to me, it's kind of a little bit of a pick-em match. It's going to come down to strategy and execution and see who can get out there and do what they need to do and find the safe places on the court, because there's not going to be a ton of them. We got Bobitsky there on the top left of your screen. He's got a great backhand, and Vauclair's got a great forehand. So the middle of the court is going to be danger zone, I think, for Rams and Wagner. They're going to have to try to get the ball to the sides. And Wagner can kind of hit the ball off both sides. He blitzes. Rams as well, but the forehand is definitely the weapon. So this is going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, and the ascent of a player like Philip Rams over the last 2 seasons, really, Brad. He jumped in, played with Kaler, among others. I mean, he's the real deal.
Oh, without a doubt. He, you know, it's just a question of him putting his skills together and limiting his errors and doing what he does best. And he was still figuring that out. He may still be, actually, at this time. Patty, you were also talking about different teams. So we got in the draw today, we got some of the old, you know, teams that have been playing for years together. Araya Parsons, Hughes and Powers, Bursch and Erdoya, who have had a tremendous breakthrough. But we got brand new teams out there. Grangero and Schumann. We have also, actually, Rams and Wagner played a couple last year. And welcome back to Compton and McNerney, which, you know, Brian Compton didn't play at all last season. I think he was down playing Padel in Florida for half the season through COVID, as far as I understand it. You got Bradrick and Christian playing now this year. And, you know, it's a great mix. And the big break, you know, for this tournament, Humphreys is playing with Assis Konings, and Lefer is playing with Jeremy Court. So those are 2 teams that split up and chose the other partner this year.
And Brad, I think it makes it all the more interesting in the sport. It used to be that you would play every tournament with the same partner, and I think all these players, men and women, realize there's tremendous value in getting out there with someone else for your own player development, because you tend to pair up with someone, you adhere to sort of a role on that team. And I think with all of these guys, they're so talented, and the more they mix it up early in the season, I think that ups their game and lets them get a different feel, you know, for their buddies who are a partner one week and an opponent the next week.
No, you're absolutely right, Patty. And I think I've talked to a number of the players. They find they learn more when they switch around a little bit. And it also helps you, because if you play a specific role, then that means you have somebody covering a certain thing that you're probably not quite as good as that they are. Now, it is good to have a team with the pieces fit together, but it also allows you to understand the things you need to do better, to improve.
Brad, and a quick note, Paddles mourns the passing of Joe Rogers. His service was this past week. Joe is a great friend to the sport of platform tennis. Many of us knew him over the years for his work with the Hall of Fame Museum, which he was the guy who helped integrate it into a virtual museum online for our sport. Put a tremendous amount of time. He was a friend to everyone. He had that sparkle in his eye, great smile. And, you know, when Joe gave you a hug, he meant it. So condolences to Joe's significant other and family, and we honor his passing.
Well, that's great and well said. And you're right. The game is made up of these tremendous people, volunteers who put in all this time and effort and really do affect everyone else. The community in the sport is second to none, and I appreciate you mentioning that, Patty. All right, so it looks like we're underway here, and it looks like Vauclair is going to start us off. That's Louis Vauclair, top of the screen. And we got our first point of our first tournament of the year, Patty. So
in person, Brad.
in person, it's a new year, and it's great to be here with you. All
We're
right.
at the Stanwich Club, Greenwich, Connecticut.
And that's the start. Fault 1, love 15.
Fault 2.
Love 30. Yep.
We're on it, Brad. We haven't missed a beat.
You see a quick blitz from Wagner. I wouldn't say it was an explosive blitz, but looking to move in when Rams hit the return. So 3 faults, 15-40.
Nervous start. Louis got to slow down.
Yeah, great blitz. And there you see, because this is going to be a point that we're going to see throughout the day, Vauclair standing with a standard overhand serve. The ball's bouncing high. He only got 2 of the 5 serves in, so it's an easy break there for this is Philip Rams' serve. But crushing the returns down, they may have to change their strategy. Now you see Rams going to the underhand roller serve, which keeps the ball lower.
Brad, we saw that in the sport a couple of years ago, and you know, we saw Johan and Stephen Mitchell obviously use it real effectively, especially when it's not raining.
That's a really good underhand serve there from Rams. He's keeping it in low. That's a good shot there from Wagner.
One change in the game, Brad. Louis, I mean, they lost that game in under 15 seconds, I think.
Yeah.
And it used to be where, oh no, you were down a break. You're just looking to keep that set close now. Now these guys don't have that mentality because there's so much in the transition game, and breaks happen far more frequently than they ever did 10 years ago with the firepower everybody has from the baseline.
Now you see Wagner and Rams went into an I formation there with Rams at the net, Wagner back. Rams trying to cut off every single ball, and they get it by him, and then they just Wagner gets it from the back, and then they transition to the back, and that's what you're saying, Patty.
What a great spot shot right there from Rams. Got Louis to go way wide. Forehand volley that kind of then set up his partner.
I would say this is the first kind of little more settled point. The thing I'd like to see Vauclair do, I mean, it's so early in the match, they're just getting their feet underneath him, is he's hitting almost every drive they're giving him. You want to make him think about it.
That's a good point, Brad. And I just feel like, you know, Louis goes fast. All his mannerisms, gestures are fast, but it's kind of going against him right here, right now. What a pickup from
That was a great
Bobitsky
volley from
there.
Bobitsky, and then Rams just fired that ball out. I think he's waiting for the umpire call there, unless I'm actually not sure, Patty, if that ball is in or out. Now look at Rams and Wagner. Forward, forward, forward. Taking these high serves, driving them down, moving in. That serves long.
It's understandable. First big tournament of the year, Brad. Nerves are definitely in play for all the players right here.
Oh, top of the net. Scoots out.
Wagner's looking rock solid over there in that ad court.
He is really rock solid. He's not a household name still, but he's been playing for years out of Pittsburgh, and he's a very good player. The weakest part of his game is really his serve, so you always have to manage that because he just puts it in the box. He doesn't. I mean, we'll see if he's got something different in the works this season.
Well, he's the real deal. He's number 60 in the country with Hirsch. I mean, he belongs on this stage, and I mean, people find their way around weak serves in this sport. That's the incredible thing. It all comes out from different players. There's so much variety now, and as long as he can put that ball deep and he stays back, like you said, he's super comfortable. We just didn't see that as the norm in the sport, and now you see it. Remember, Brad, when you would coach your students and like to convince them to stay back was like they were giving up the point.
Yeah, you got to learn to do multiple service strategies in the game right now. He's called wide. Let's see what the umpire says. I think the call stands. I think Bobitsky and Vauclair thought it was good. They were giving each other a high five.
That's a tough call from the umpire chair looking down on that sideline.
They really want to engage with these guys in the hand-to-hand, Rams and Wagner. They feel they have the advantage. They're hitting it and coming forward behind it. With the amount of times they're doing it, if I'm Vauclair and Bobitsky, I get right on top of the net and start volleying down, Patty.
Yeah, Anton's just inside the service line. Both of them are playing back. That's a great point, Brad.
Yeah, see, they're off the net, and even if they hit it straight, they can't volley down. You know, and if a guy's blitzing on you, it can be tricky. Look at all these drives. And that was right on the line off the top of the net. The 3-love first set, Rams and Wagner off to a great start and firing on all cylinders. We talk about you want to hit one drive, maybe two, then lob the opponent off the net. That was 7-8 drives in a row. And you got Bobitsky and Vauclair off the net, back around the service line. They're not putting enough pressure on the drive. They got to move up a little bit more right now.
Kind of looked like a drive volley drill, Brad, that you would set up for your students.
Drive volley drill, Patty.
You know, and just let's see if you can stay low on the volley. But your point is, when they're making consecutive drives, you've got to get in there and put more pressure with the volley on the baseline player.
A great start for Rams Wagner, 3-0.
How many unforced errors right now for Rams and Wagner, Brad?
I mean, there's been a couple, but the amount of winners they've hit far out, exceeds it. And you see Wagner Gao going with the underhand roller serve. So changing up what he's done in the past. That's a rip there from Bobitsky, and Wagner staying back as he often does.
Brad, when your partner's staying back, you're the one up at the net. Do you decide if you're going to stay up there? Or do you, who makes the decision whether one stays up or you both stay back? How do you do it?
Well, I think they've played enough. I'd like to think they did it as a team, meaning I'm going to hit this and stay back. You can look to poach or take it, and then you have to decide if the ball, see here you just see Rams taking all the work up there, and that was a great volley from Bobitsky. Put it off of Rams' side and couldn't deal with it. And if he can cut it off, then Wagner could work his way up. But they're doing a lot of one up, one back. So here it's likely Rams is going back because he's got no shot at the drive. And if Wagner has a shot at the drive from the back, Rams will stay up. That's really how I see these guys working it the whole time.
And Rams has a wingspan.
He
when
does
he's
have
up
a
there,
wingspan.
you know, a little Johan-like taking the middle of the court and
See,
really
he-
drawing the play to him.
Wants this. Look at this. He wants that. He decided to stay at the service line and just go toe to toe. Now he's going to go back. No good shot there for Wagner. Wagner's backhand is super solid. Spots that perfectly.
Oops.
That's a low ball, probably a little bit of a mental error. Clearly the faster play is not benefiting Bobitsky and Vauclair right now. They might want to dial it back a little.
Game. Wagner Rams leads 4-love in the first set.
And the dream start here for Rams and Wagner.
That was smart from Vauclair to let that ball go through. Came off high and hard off the screen, took a drive when it would have been a tough volley.
Great shot of a very calm Wagner in that corner.
Yep, great work there. Vauclair keeping it out of the strike zones though right now.
And he's driving to let him volley. He's not trying to hit a winner here.
Nope, he's trying to get a shorter, easier ball that he can attack some more or force just some volley error.
30-15.
Yeah, real struggles on serving right now.
Yeah, and that's, geez, he just loves it. He's every time hand-to-hand battle there for Rams.
I think Louis should consider just staying back, just making sure they eliminate some faulting here and get in this.
Oh, they got to slow it down. They got to lob with intention,
Right.
and they got to just transition back because, I mean, if they're not going to get right on top of the net, they're getting, you know, ball at their feet. The other guys are coming forward and blitzing it.
Fred, I always think it's easier to slow down the game from the baseline than from the net.
You can't really slow it down from the net. If you're at the net, I mean, you could hit soft overheads, but that's not going to do anything to these guys. Eventually, you're going to hit one short, and
Exactly.
they're just going to crush it.
But that's why I think if they stayed back,
Yeah,
you know,
I-
were willing to throw up 100 lobs and just go lob dink, just do some different combination to try to find a tempo together.
Right. I agree with you 100%, Patty. And that was it. And we should talk about the scoring system here, which we neglected to mention, Patty. So that was the second deuce. And at second deuce, it is a sudden death game. Okay, so that was a fault. Game goes to Rams and Wagner, and they lead 5-0. So just so we're clear on the scoring, it's regular scoring, first deuce, and then when it gets to the second deuce, it's a sudden death or no ad point. No more ads after that.
Shout out to Mendham Golf Club, Priscilla, and all the other great enthusiastic paddle players tuning in. Loving listening to you, Brad.
Patty, you got fans everywhere. Yeah, this is what we need from Vauclair and Bobitsky. Make these guys play a point that lasts 60 balls right now. I mean, I love the exciting fast play, but they got to slow it down a little. allow Rams and Wagner to miss a little. Now you will see Rams. He's got a pretty decent cut overhead. He's going to put some pressure on.
Well, I was going to say, I really don't know what Mike Wagner's overhead looks like yet, because I haven't seen, the spot lobs from these guys even trying to kind of break them down. They look really solid as a net team.
That was a better point. He finally took a drive when he had Rams a little off the net, made him reach. Yeah, Wagner's overhead, he'll hit a variety of rollers as an attacking overhead. Otherwise, he sort of just pushes it flat and deep, kind of lets it drop a little bit, and he'll hit a little pillow one here and there. He's definitely, more meat and potatoes overhead, not a lot of spin to it.
And you see with Rams and Wagner, Brad, like a lot of top teams, they'll switch, put Rams, so he's the player able to cover more of the overheads in the middle of the court. They're doing that deliberately as soon as they can call the switch. That puts them in the position I think they're better as a team with.
I just got a text from the legendary and great Jim Kaufman. He says, "What do you mean you can't slow it down at the net?" And Jim Kaufman actually has probably the best push or neutral overhead that's ever been in the game. He would hold it, put it deep, put it on a dime, and anytime the opponents took a drive, you could see it coming and you would close off the net. So you can actually slow it down. He is right. But for these guys, and he's right in the sense, because Bobitsky and Vauclair aren't even trying to find that safe spot where they can hit 20, 30, 40 times. There aren't that many safe spots against Wagner Rams, let's be clear, but if they could find it, it's a little mind-numbing. It's going to slow them down, allow the attack to stop.
So, Brad, I think we have completed the first set there.
I mean, that was a quickie, Patty. I'm going to take a look on my Casio here. Yeah, less than a half hour. When you include the warm-up, that was a 20-minute set. And clearly we were talking about pace of play and style of play. And for Vauclair and Bobitsky, it's got to change. Otherwise they're just hoping that Rams and Wagner go off the rails and start missing everything. But they're just getting drive after drive. They're not closing off the net. They got to slow it down, whether they're at the net or at the baseline.
I think one more in the new ball, is that right? 7 and then 9? 7 or?
You'll be curious to see what tactical adjustments Anton and Louis make, if any. I mean, they've got to talk right now and try to figure out some way to get on the boards. So Anton is serving first. That's one tactical adjustment.
Yeah,
Vauclair started the match.
Sometimes a set, so Anton Bobitsky taking a practice serve to start off the second set, and Rams and Wagner with a steamroller. 6-love first set. There you go. There's a slow overhead.
That was a slow one.
Well, the place you want to find is Rams' backhand, right? Because Rams, he can snap that forehand. He just took a ball from underneath the net, drove it, and nobody bothered to close it off. I mean, it's just a great shot, and then he drives the next one. Impressive drive there. You see Bobitsky missing that because he's trying to hit too much touch because he's afraid of the Rams' blitz. Wagner's backhand is actually a little better than his forehand, but he hits them both really well. That's a good spin overhead deep there. But they should concentrate right now on finding the spot, hitting it over and over again. If Wagner tries to move over, hit it behind him, right? Move the ball around. There goes Rams again with a good look. He missed it.
30 all.
All right, 30 all.
This is huge right here.
Just get your first game, right, Patty?
It is, but really important to get on the boards here. And again, the pressure from Rams, that return to serve and follow.
They keep serving and volleying, and they're losing too many. They got to
They
have
gotta
a
stay
few
back.
different strategies
Show
involved.
a different formation. Or
Yes, at least mix it up. It's right now, if Bobitsky makes a really good low volley, they have a good chance of winning the point because Rams is coming in every time. If he doesn't, it's over. It's, you know. On the flip side, Patty, the danger really is for Rams and Wagner, you have a set like that where you're just crushing, and you could easily get complacent, start throwing in a couple errors, and once you do that, the tide can flip in a heartbeat. Nice play. Just let that go through, track it down off the screen, slow the point down.
Brad, we have some results, not results, just some updates on some of the other courts being played here. Beautiful Stanwich Club in Greenwich, Connecticut.
Yeah, like we said, it's action-packed all day out here. So we got our second seeds of Burish and Ojoya against Granjero and Schumann, and they're up 3-love in the first set. And Bonfili Herrera-Seen, you know, that's a name that hopefully we'll see a lot more of. Robert Herrera-Seen, he's a very good player against Lepever and Protsenko, probably the 7th-ranked team in the country last year, and probably the breakout team, Lepever and Protsenko. They're up 3-2, so some battles out there. And you can see the difference in the scores, just like the amount of games played, so on up there. So there's a good first hold for Bobitsky and Vauclair, and they did get a couple of errors there from Rams and Wagner. Wagner, you know, Rams just went for a winning drop shot there. He missed it, went for a couple of winning volleys, so it's huge. Once you get that first game, it's a totally different match out here now.
And Rams applying the pressure the way he is. I mean, even though he had 3 missed volleys in that game, but he's still dictating the play here. You know, Brett, as you know, a former top player yourself, you've got to gain these match experiences, and I just feel like Bobitsky and Vauclair, like, they just don't have that. And I feel like right now, Rams and Wagner are really, really comfortable together.
Yes, they're playing like a team. Bobitsky and Vauclair are playing, right? You know, it seems like Rams and Wagner have an idea what they want to do. It is some high-risk stuff. There we go. Nice blitz there. A little turnabout. Good job. 15-30. But here we go. A little purchase in the match. Little spots. We'll see Wagner and Rams switch at the net. Rams will pretty much always be to the left of Wagner, and you watch him now as he's hitting that shot. That was wide, and here the errors start to come.
Yeah, I mean, Rams not only the pressure off his blitzing, but his overhead has really kind of pretzeled Vauclair over there in this match.
30-40.
Burish Ojoya now up 5-0 against Granjero and Schumann in the first set.
Burish and Ardura, finalists, nationals last year. Just an amazing team.
Yeah,
a lot of talent. A lot of people are picking them.
Look, they're great, and they know what they're trying to do too. You know, Burish is trying to work on his cut finishing overhead. You know, and they've been one of those teams where from the moment they played together the first time, the puzzle pieces fit perfectly. They're a tough out. They're definitely right in the conversation for the Nationals.
Just got a little intel from our buddy Scott Kaler out in Pittsburgh, and he mentioned that these guys played a ton of summer paddle, Brad. And with Graham McNerney going to Pittsburgh, the 4 of these guys were out, and they look like they're in mid-season form here, where Anton and Louis are still getting their sea legs in this match. So thanks, Scott, for that intel.
All right, second deuce here. So this is a game point. This would be huge for Bobitsky and Vauclair to be able to go 2-love after losing the first set 6-love. Great cutoff there from Wagner, reading the Bobitsky drive. Super solid volley. See, look at how Wagner's closing off the net when they're getting ready to drive. There's the switch. There's they want. Rams doing 90% of the drops. Great get. Oh! Awesome hustle plays from Vauclair and Bobitsky, both guys.
It's interesting. I want to see how Babitsky does with the overhead from Rams here.
Did great there.
Could they switch sides on the baseline and just
They
mix things
did.
up, Brad? I mean, just like they did here. I kind of like the play.
It was a good play. They didn't switch sides on purpose. They got drawn that way in the scramble, but
They're not forcing it back. Oh, and Babitsky got the shot he wanted.
Babitsky has a great two-hander off the deck. If he takes a one-hander, I'm surprised. You know, but that was a big game there. Could have been up 2-0. Now it's a 1-all.
Love it, team.
Serving woes continue for Vauclair. Oh, yeah, just
You know, Brad, to your point, you were spot on early in this match, and you said they're just not closing in, and they're giving Rams the front of the court at their feet.
Yep.
And he's just like a magician out here in this match so far.
And if you got the ball under the net, I don't understand why they wouldn't just hit a high lob and go back to the baseline.
30 all.
They're losing more than 50% of these points. They're not winning the exchanges. And even the ones they've won have been more on the side of like Rams missing than them winning or
Sure.
dictating them.
40-30.
A rare miss from Wagner at that ad court on a forehand here.
I don't think he's made any errors.
No, just rock solid start to this match. And
I mean, he's not doing the high-risk
continues.
stuff that Rams is doing, but he hasn't made any errors, and he's hit 50 drives and not missed one.
Game. Babitsky Vauclair. Babitsky Vauclair leads 2-1 in the second set.
All right, this is more of a
Wagner
normal
Rams
start.
took the first set
And you
6-1.
got to also say, Rams and Wagner in that first set were lights out. They really didn't miss. You know, and they played some high-risk stuff. And right now, Bobitsky, Vauclair, those two games, definitely more Rams and Wagner starting to miss a little bit. You play high risk, you take chances, you start to miss. That's the way it goes.
great shot, the fire pit, paddle hut, and the CEO of the APTA, Amin Kaduri.
It is a beautiful place to watch. That fire pit is gorgeous. It's actually a perfect paddle day. It's not sunny, which the players love.
And hopefully we just luck out with not too much rain.
I think we're okay. I took a look, and yeah, I'm going to go out on a limb like most meteorologists. Say we'll be okay. We'll get a little sprinkles here and there, Patty.
Did you become a meteorologist after med school?
It was actually while I was doing med school, Patty. So, you know, give me a little bit more credit. I did it all at the same time.
Did you do meteorology at night?
I did it at night. I was doing astrology, so no, actually, Patty. It's really during the day. My off 5-minute times. Great transition back there from Wagner Rams. There, just awesome backhand.
15 left.
But he's on the net anyway. Push him back first.
It's close. You feel like Vauclair and Babitsky are, you know, now it's possible, Brad. That first set, gone, delete, never happened.
But that's the great thing, right? I mean, I'm sure you've had sets where you've lost 6-love before, Patty, and turned it around. You know, you have all the time after the first set to get your stuff together and find a rhythm that works for you in the match.
Yeah, Brad, it's happened to all of us. We've all been bagelled.
And it was a little bit of a perfect storm in the first set. You know, Vauclair starts the game off with 3 faults. Those guys aren't missing. And now they're getting a few errors, though, from Wagner and Rams. Missed it.
Game.
so much pressure up there. I still think they got to get closer to the net if they're going to go up there.
Right, and Brad, what comes into play, you see players flipping over, and it's so hard to control that low volley on a forehand. You can cut off high volleys with your forehand all day long, but when you know, Louis not going over and moving their wall of defense like close to Anton, and these guys are finding that seam.
It's fun to watch a guy like Wagner know what he's supposed to be doing up there. Every time Rams gets a cut on a spin overhead, he'll move to the right, give him the space he needs, comes right back into play to cover the net on the drive. Doing it perfectly. It's a great combination for the two of them. Like you said before, knowing your role.
Brad, that's another good point. You know, I think a lot of times at the club level, that player to the right kind of stands and holds their ground, even though they know their partner is hitting the overhead. And I love Wagner's move to the right because he's letting his partner let the ball drop for that lower contact point, which brings in those cutters.
I could watch Rams hit that forehand all day. It is so pretty. Just quick and fast racket head speed. He hits it from low to high. Can Wagner dig that one? No. I think Rams gave him a little bit of a fake there. It stunned Wagner for a half sec. I think he could have had it, but
I went for the fake, Brad.
He thought Rams was taking it.
Oh boy. Of all the places Anton could have dumped that ball, that was my last place.
Yeah.
You know, again, only Rams is dictating play, and it's whether he makes or misses.
40-30.
I think it's 40-30. We got the score a little bit update. And yeah, a couple of big points in this one. They need this hold. I feel like you're right, Patty. Rams and Wagner are dictating, and these guys need to stay close. Oh, Wagner missed 2 backhands in that game, and I don't think he missed any.
And to your point,
First 9 or 10.
right, Vauclair was right on top of the net for that volley, Brad, where that was like the first time Wagner pulled the trigger maybe a little bit early. And, you know, you can be set up beautifully, and it's the ball of life to hit a drive. But if the net player's on top of the net, straight ahead from you, you've got to move it to that guy's right side or change your shot, go back to the middle of the court. It's easy to do from here, isn't it, Brad?
Sure is. I like it here.
Me too. It's quite comfortable.
Oh, look at that. Just another great move. He's done that 4 or 5 times now. Bobicki's got to take one down the line, I think. Nope. Couple of faults. All right. 15-0.
15-all.
And you're saying down the line just to kind of keep Wagner honest when he's standing at the net, Brad, when his partner's serving? I think a lot of club level players as well think they have to hit cross court in the returns. You got to keep the net guy honest.
That move there. Chips the ball low, comes right in. There it is. He goes right at him. Smart play.
You called it, Brad.
But a great volley there for Wagner, and there's the switch, and you see Wagner off the court, allowing the room for Rams to hit that cut spin overhead.
Brad, shout out to our tournament director, Max Lipper, who's the host pro here at the beautiful Stanwich Club in Greenwich. And Max is involved in an early round match right now. Brad, how's he doing?
He's down 5-2, so Lipper and Protsenko down 5-2 to Bonfili and Herrera Scene. And I have to tell you, having run a bunch of these tournaments, it is not easy to play and host a tournament. So hard
you can play. It's
so
just hard to do well when you've got all these things on your mind. It's hard to focus on the match you're actually playing.
And so I'm less surprised. I mean, also, Bonfili and Herrera Scene is a tough out. Very good team. Herrera Scene is a new player. A lot of people don't know him, but he's a rock star. He's good.
And Lipiver Prosenko had their breakthrough last year, Nationals, made it to the semis.
A great match against Broderick and Palmer, just incredible stuff. Nice.
Rock solid volleying here from Babitsky and Beauclair in this game.
Yeah, they're starting
like
to
that.
close off the net a little more, because you notice Wagner and Rams in the first set, every time they hit a drive, they were running forward. You know, here they're hitting drives, but they're hitting them from the baseline, and they are back. And it just makes all the difference in the world. I mean, they've hit 15 drives at this point. It's actually exciting stuff. How about that? Humphreys and Hasis Koenig taking the first set off of Araya Parsons, 6-2. And Bonfili and Herrera-Seen take out and Protsenko and Max Lipiver in the first set, 6-2. And don't take them out fully yet, but they won the first set. So a couple of big results there.
And, you know, our game continues to transition, and you see these, you know, we've had Juan and Mark, just, you know, a top team for years and years, and all of a sudden, last couple of years, Brad, we've seen this rise of these exciting players. You see a Chris Humphreys, one with Nathan last weekend.
Yep.
Chris is over at Bedford, super talented young player. And, you know, the change is happening right in front of us. And, you know, for Orion Parsons come out here and have that as your first round match,
Well,
how difficult is
There
that?
are nowhere to hide, but there are some places you'd probably rather be in the draw, and that's a tough first round right there.
Well, when I saw the draw and I saw the top half, I just marveled at the strength and depth in the game.
Yep. Wagner again getting off the court. Yeah, you cannot drive at Wagner because he's not hitting any overheads. If you could make him hit a couple.
I
But
think he's hit how many in the match so far?
I think 6.
Right.
You know,
We've
if,
had
if
12
that,
games.
If that, you know, they can't get him off the net. He's just there to cut it off even when they take the drive. So they gotta find Rams with the drive, and it's just hard to do because he's dictating with the cut overheads enough, and there he puts one away. This is big. Triple break point. Here comes Rams, and there's the finish. There's the break.
I mean, I can't decide if it's the Rams blitzing that's dictating or the Rams overhead here, but either way, he's
Well,
controlling
one's at the net
this
and
match.
one's at the baselines,
Right.
you know, so it works out good for them.
Exactly, and that's the difference in this match.
I mean, all right, so Burish and Erdoya up 6-love 3-1 against Grangero and Schumann. And those guys, I feel like you said people were talking about them. They feel like they're getting locked in. You know, it seems like they're on a mission for sure, and they're trying to improve the areas they think they were just lacking in a little bit. So we have basically, you know, 4 of the top 5 teams in the country probably out here in this round of 16. And unfortunately, we lost Bosterman Anderson just at the last minute in this tourney, and you know, there's no Durant Mitchell. So, great representation. Everybody getting out there, getting the season underway. He's got it. Great shot. He's feeling really comfortable. Ooh.
30 love.
Great look for Louis there.
Yeah.
Smart shot. You got an active guy at the net. You got a hit behind him.
Yep. No, he just missed it. It was the right play. Back so solid.
Again,
There's the forward, but he's off in the middle net, hitting a hip volley upwards. Why not? Rams is, You know, they haven't put the volleys behind them any times. Whereas before, Wagner's on the net. He's volleying the ball down. There's no way for the other guys to blitz very well. That's a good overhead. What a dig. Just long, though.
40-15.
And you got to make Mike Wagner beat you at this point. I would try to just make him step up here and take Rams out of it a little bit.
Yeah, the problem is Wagner hits amazing drives. And Rams runs forward when Wagner's driving,
Right,
so it's
right.
hard to take him completely out because Wagner drives the ball from all over the place. You know,
Yep.
so that's part of the combo that's working for him.
So Rams and Wagner's at the 5-3.
They just got to get
Second
on
set.
the net and volley down.
Team love.
And it all comes down to Brad on the volleys, stepping in, taking some space away so
Right.
those drives can't get down low at your knees or your feet.
And look, if you, I mean, there's a catch-22 there. It makes you more vulnerable to lobs, but
15
you
all.
got to work it out where you're getting tighter. If you need somebody to move back and cover
Right.
more of the lobs when you take a chance to cut it off, anytime that ball's gone down, they're
15,
in
30.
trouble. Anytime they're volleying from halfway in the service box, they're in trouble. Here it is again. I mean, he missed it, and it was a great volley from Bobitsky, but still, it's all Rams in control there. 30 all. And I don't understand why they're not doing some Australian and other things to cut down on the possible return and blitz.
Yeah, just don't see the tactical adjustments.
He's going to rip it. Here comes Rams. And there it is, but good transition back that time. Look at Wagner. See, right before Vauclair got to hit, he went right up to the net in case
30-40.
Vauclair took the drive. Had Vauclair drived it, you know, hit the drive, he would have hit a drop shot winner.
Match point, number 1, Rams and Wagner.
Oh,
Wow, what a great shot from Louis.
that was an awesome slap shot at Rams's feet.
Add in.
A little too tricky for himself on that one. And a great hold.
Game.
Match point down.
Wagner Rams lead.
Yeah, so they saved one,
5-4
Brad.
in the second set.
All right, so it's
Wagner Rams took the first set.
good for them, and anything can happen.
Really impressed with Wagner. I've seen these other guys play, not him very much. Super impressive showing here.
Yeah, you're going to see him a bunch. If Rams and Wagner are playing the season together, they're going to be in it. No.
15.
Great little high roller there, and it catches Wagner by surprise. 15.
Isn't it amazing? These guys don't miss a volley, and Babinski's return was sort of like an awkward off-speed ball, and
Yeah.
Wagner blew it.
Well, that's what made it difficult, actually,
Yep.
Patty. And Bobitsky was just reacting to the let court serve, so he ended up flicking it up and
That's
Gets the
why
error.
with drives, you don't have to hit them down at people's feet. You just have to get them volleying from different spots.
I mean, he is trying to get Wagner. He hit that straight down the line, and Wagner's just off the court. And Rams has got it every time. Look at that. He's just right on the net, Wagner.
Right. The other option would be really, a diagonal cross-court lob from Babinski to try to stretch Rams out, open up the middle of the court a little bit, because he's covering the line.
I think you're absolutely
Very
right.
much like when I used to play against you in mixed doubles or see a lot of mixed doubles. You know, you would take a ton of the overheads. That's what Ram's doing out here. And I always found that you had to stretch the guy way back over the opposite side.
I think that's a great point, Patty. You're absolutely right. Ah.
Yeah, there we go. Just sort of open up things, and he actually got a neutral overhead from
Yep.
Rams. Another neutral overhead.
Well, you're absolutely right, too, because if he has to move way there to his left, he's not going to be able to cut around the ball because he's moving in the opposite direction. This is a big
Correct.
point.
The cut comes from a ball to a righty's right side.
That's correct. Big hit.
Again,
What a
off the
point.
net.
30-15.
Spot on drive, just that dipping ball at his feet.
What a great point that was, though. Great effort from all the players out there. How's Wagner's fourth overhead?
He just wanted to stretch.
Yeah, get his arm up over his shoulder one time. So he didn't hit overhand serves, right? What a volley there from Rams. And you just don't want to mix it up that way.
What depth.
All right.
Just off-speed volley there. Beautiful.
Match points number 2 here. Match point number 2. Philip Rams. Another perfect cutoff there from Wagner. That's out. Great shot.
40-30.
Quick note, we will switch off and have bonus action on our second streaming court after this match finishes.
Great return to serve, pulls Rams wide. Brad, as we say watching, how many amazing shots do you have to make to win a point out here?
I mean, it's been some great stuff. And Rams is doing a lot of great work. Wagner and Rams definitely have great teamwork out there. There's a spike. Nice. But again, Wagner right on the net, volleying down.
Yep, Louis got the shot. He wanted to hit it, but Wagner was awaiting.
That's game.
Oh my God, what a
There it
volley.
is.
Nice.
But again, you've got to pop that ball up. I mean, that was some great stuff. Super exciting play.
Last third set.
So congratulations to Rams and Wagner with an impressive performance right out here. And they're going to move on to the next round, and they'll play the winner of Humphreys Asas Koenig and Araya Parsons. And I think we're going to take you over there now to take a look at that match. And here we go. So, Patty, why don't you do a quick look of the players on the court?
Player to our left, one. Oh,
They're switching it up, actually.
they
Yeah.
switch it up. Okay,
We
Juan
have the-
Araya is in the at-court far side, partnered with his longtime partner, national champion together, Mark Parsons. We have Chris Humphreys, the lefty,
And the kind of pink,
in the
whatever
pink
shirt.
shirt. And Brad, who's his mystery partner over there? Tell us about him.
Oh, Asas Koenig he's actually a fitness instructor. He's incredibly fit. He's got, drives off both wings, and he's disciplined. He hits those aren't huge for him, but he dips them and makes you volley up, and he's quick in with occasional blitz. And mostly he just plays super disciplined out there. And he'll attack the short balls, and he'll lob the others. He just plays a really good disciplined game. He's almost like he works you over, and then he looks for that great opportunity because he's very quick. Humphreys, great backhand. Definitely a ton of offense, a lot of spin on his overheads.
Wow, and we're lucky to join this 5-all, Brad, second set.
Yeah, no surprise, actually, that Humphreys and Asas Koenig took the first set 6-2. They're a tough team. See
Brad,
Parsons.
this would be a monster upset, wouldn't it?
Amy Wood, it's just the first tournament of the year, and I feel like upsets aren't what they used to be in the past. This is a very good team. And it may be that those guys played just a little more paddle in the summer also. You know, they just might be sharper at this point. You know, and
Yeah,
That's a
Parsons
good
not
look.
played a ton, and we know Juan has played a tremendous amount of pickleball.
yep. So,
And Chris Humphreys, our lefty in the deuce court, really, I don't think he's a rising star in our game, Brad. He's a star.
yeah, he's there. I mean, he's got wheels. He's got a great serve.
Lucky
Huge.
enough to be under the tutelage of Nathan Lefevre over at Bronxville for a while before going full-time out of Bedford. Just really talented.
Yeah, he's got a great backhand. He won't pull the trigger that often on the forehand. You know, it's not his favorite shot. He's still working it out.
Did I hear 3-all, Brad? I thought we were told it was 5-all.
Yeah, I thought I heard that as well, so we'll try to get a
We'll get a check on that.
check on that.
We know for sure it's 3-all or 5-all. That's Araya, early in his career, dominant player out of the ad court, Brad, and with pairing up with Mark Parsons, one of the most amazing two-handed backhands of all time in our sport. Juan gladly went over to that deuce side.
And he's very effective over there. You know, he's going to wait for Parsons to hit, and Araya will blitz. He's one of the great volleyers. He's got a really good one-handed backhand, definitely one of the best in the game, maybe even the best, because he can hit it sharply down and make quick blitzes behind it. It's not like he comes over it with a topspin, but he uses it, and then he holds it in block lobs quickly. All of it allows him to sort of sneak into the net frequently, where he's a very good hand-to-hand player up there. And there's a switch in the backcourt, because now it changes things. Instead of them dumping it down the middle as much, they're going to try to go to the sides. And that's why you switch at the court. Oh, that's a great look. Assis Koenig switched the play to the other side right into the Parsons forehand. They couldn't shift into position. All right, above 15. Let's see if we can get a confirmation on the actual score. Oh, big move from Parsons.
He's fired up.
Yeah, I mean, hey, look, they're national champions. And whether they've practiced a lot or not, they lost the first set 6-2. They're getting fired up.
Well, that's my point. I mean, it's not a major upset, but when you look at it on paper and national champions on the other side,
Yeah, I think
it's
Ryan,
still
Ryan
if
Parsons
Humphreys and Assis Koenig could pull this off, it would be a monster win.
Yeah.
Osip
Ryan
Koenig
misses.
played with Jeremy Court a lot last year. 5th place finish in Nationals March. I'm Brad. You know, it's the real deal.
Oh, yeah. No question. All right, Sir Bursch and Doya with a dominant performance in their match. I think it was 6-love, 6-1. So kudos to them. Starting off perfectly on the year. And they're going to move on to take the winner of the Bonfili Herrera Scene match against Lepever and Protsenko. See, Araya loves to move around at the net, and he's definitely looking for poaches. And you see where he was right there? 1 inch from the net, baiting him into the drive. And you see Parsons behind the service line, just ready to go get any ball that gets behind Araya. And that's how they play. They'll move into position at the net, and then Araya will frequently try to cut off any balls that happen, and then Parsons will move back.
Right, we just saw that Wagner-Rams match where very much Rams was all over the place. all over the net, and that's the style of play that Araya has perfected over the years.
All right, so in the second set, I believe it's 5-0 for Araya Parsons in the second set. So there's the score. So we had it all wrong,
Okay.
not 5-all. A little bit of a difference between 5-all and 5-0.
3-all and
Yeah, 3-all
5-0.
or 5-all. You know.
Yeah, so giant
So-
turnaround, and Parsons and Araya. Brad, did they have a practice set before this tournament, do you think?
I don't think so. I think this is their
I think
practice
it was
set.
this morning at 8:30.
Yes.
Yeah, and those guys know each other. Obviously they're some of our game's greatest players ever, and it's just a time where they have to get their make adjustments. Juan's allowed to go in the kitchen today.
He is.
He stayed out of it all summer long.
So here's the moment. You know, having not seen the first set, Patty, here's the moment for like where Humphreys and us is going to have to decide what happened. The first set was all errors from Araya Parsons, and now that's changed around. Now they got to find their tactics, how they want to play the ball. You got Araya all over the net. Maybe they just keep lobbing him, but whenever Parsons is hitting the overheads, you got to block the nick. He'll find the corners in the crease.
Fancy footwork from Parsons right there.
It's out. He tracked it down well, but you're running so fast, Patty, you actually have to hit the ball almost straight up, not forward at all, because your momentum will carry the ball. It just hits it out. See, I like that play from Humphreys there. The quick lob up on Araya, but you got to move forward to see if you can take a spike on the next ball, because Araya's all over the net.
Yeah, you could just see he just played with Humphreys on his follow-up shot there.
Oh yeah, Humphreys was afraid of the drop, moved forward, and Araya put him behind.
Shout out to John Scott, ENET Live. Off to a good start for our APTA Tour events, 2021-2022 season.
Here's the I formation. You see Parsons behind the service line and Araya all over the net. Any drive that gets hit, he's going to poach it, cut it off. If it gets by him, he missed that one. But if it gets by him, that's where Parsons comes in and he'll take it. If the lob goes over him, Parsons will take it.
Yeah, there's not too many players in the country who can do this formation and have it be real effective. These guys have remarkable skills. Juan's hands up at the net, just crazy good.
Yeah, his volleying skills are exceptional. I mean, you know, he's one of the few guys who will attempt to take on a player like Johan Durant hand to hand, and he wins the fair share.
So they're on the board. 06 Koenig, Chris Humphreys down 1-5, second set. They did win the first set.
They did, and Lepavera Protsenko up 3-2 in the second set against Monfils and Herrera-Seen. So
And
trying
Brad,
to
again,
right the ship there.
Yep, sorry, excuse me. Can you explain the scoring difference for this tournament from traditional platform tennis tournaments?
Yeah, the difference is we're playing second deuce is a sudden death point. So deuce games are not going on forever. You're going to play up to deuce, and then if it goes to deuce again, the next point is sudden death, and the receiving team will get the option to choose who wants to return. There you go, Araya just making them scramble, and every drive they hit, he's there. Good duck there. You got to know when to leave the ball in this formation and know what to cut off. And what's unique about a team like Araya Parsons is Araya is well known for his overhead, but he's not playing any right now. He's just using his volleying skills. Look at him go again, right in. As soon as Parsons took a swing, Araya blitzed.
Wow, what a backhand up the line.
I mean, a perfect read from Osasconik. That was a mistake. Gotta lob that.
Yeah, and he challenged Araya in that corner, and we saw Araya just live on that shot for years out of that out of court.
Ooh, he thumped it. Great energy out there from Orion Parsons, and here's the blitz put away.
What a touch volley there. Didn't overreact, had the whole side of the court to hit into, just placed the ball deep. That's the set for Parsons and Araya.
I mean, and a great job, and I think it's going to be regroup time now for Humphreys and Osasconik, because you have to realize that you're going to have to put in some Australians, some different forms, some serve and stay back, because the forward nature of how they're playing, you got Araya just all over that net, and then you have to lob perfectly. You got to lob to the left, make Parsons go left, then lob to the right, make Parsons go right. Don't let Araya get a ball, and only hit the perfect ball where you can really have the advantage. Because the honest truth is, if you're back there and Araya's right on the net, he has the advantage unless you can really place your drive, unless he has to guess on you.
But it's, as we see with these players moving up through the ranks, the ability to be that disciplined and forego, a shot that is in your wheelhouse to drive. That's the challenge.
Yeah.
Brad, we've got lots of amazing play throughout the day, some really strong women's teams. We're going to get some of that action as we move throughout. We have our national champions, Hanish.
And Zabori,
And
yep, they're out here.
We have Delmonico and Gebbia, number 2 team in the country.
Yeah, they
Lots
had a
of,
real breakout season last year, Patty. They were great.
Macy Elliott, we might get to see her new partner for this event. Not seen her play at all yet, but here's Macy, won nationals 2 years ago. Redesno had another baby in the off season, we'll call it, Brad, and so
I don't know
we
what
have
else
some
you
new
would call it, Patty.
combinations.
You got a lob left, lob right. Know where the last lob was. Move Parsons side to side. Don't take those off drives. Araya's just waiting for them. Lob right now. There you go. A little bit.
Oh, Chris is lucky there.
I still don't love that play. And you almost have to work on Araya's head here, because Araya's up there to get the ball. And if he's not getting it for 20 balls, he's going to get antsy.
I've always marveled at, because of that, and you see Parsons as the opposite. I feel like at any point he can engage and be 100% engaged, regardless if he's been frozen out for a period of time.
Yeah, he's been the most rock-solid player over a period of time. I mean, got 4 national championships, but never has he been sort of like the engine player, the engine that makes it go. I guess he was when he won when he won with Mike Stulak, but he's always been sort of the role player on the team, which is funny from a guy of his incredible skill and talent.
Well, and his role, I feel like, is ever-changing, and he's good with that.
Yep.
And he's one of the best. He's really one of the best players our game's ever seen, because he can play all different styles. He can bring it if he needs to. He can back off if he needs to. He just wants to win.
No, I think it's really well said, Patty. There's no question that he's one of the greatest players ever in the game. He just missed it.
So Humphreys did the same thing. He went up the line. One, that's the second volley he missed. So we know Araya likes to move side to side. And if you have him in one spot, you know where he's going, and hitting behind that player is huge. And that's what Humphreys trying to do here.
That's a good little cat-mouse game then.
Because if you lobbed every ball, Parsons would just stay back and play every overhead, hit another ball back and play. I don't think he's ever going to make an overhead error.
Now there you see Humphreys moving to his left. He'll do that frequently, and he'll do that to look to hit his backhand. Good help call.
30 all. 30 all.
And right there, Humphreys had space in front of Juan. He didn't have to make it quite so good, but that's what Araya makes you do.
Good call there from Araya, letting Parsons know that his opponent's blitzing in. That's a great rip there from Humphreys. That's his bread and butter ball. Does the backhand great off the screen or off the deck.
And it worked because he had gone twice up the line to Araya, so Araya had to hold the line in his positioning.
I like that move from Humphreys. He set him up for it. He just couldn't execute.
No, I know. I just thought about it. Wait.
Advantage, Araya.
Hey, come here, come here. Yo-yo. Yo, please. Hop.
Oh, got him. Nice shot from Assis Koenige,
Deuce.
and he
Second
comes in,
deuce.
snuck in a little late on the blitz call, and he plugs him. Great shot. What a great volley there from Parsons.
Game,
And I
Araya
love
Parsons.
the emotion.
They lead the third set, 1-love.
They're fired up.
Yeah, and it is their first tournament of the year, but this is meaningful, and they have a lot of pride. They don't want to lose to a team ranked below them, Brad.
Absolutely not. You know, it's funny, you know, when I was playing, Patty, I don't know if you felt this way at all, but you would play all these league matches, and you were always playing against players who were, you didn't want to let them win those league matches because you didn't want to let them feel like they could beat you, even in those, right? You know, and now that I'm not playing, I enjoy being the guy on the other side, you know, like,
Exactly.
you know, playing against these guys and trying to beat them with, but
Sorry, give me one
it's
second.
kind of a funny psychology, you're right. You don't want people to think they can get over on you. Yeah, there's the Humphrey serve in that deuce court. Very hard to drive. Pushes it long. Or wide.
We talked in the first match, Brad. Can you slow it down from the net? And then we talked about the Jim Kaufman reference, and right there, I mean, that's what they did. They just kind of waited, let that ball get low. You know, a couple years ago, I heard it was the French overhead from Max Liprevert, our host pro for this event at the Stanwich Club. So you can neutralize and hit those shots, but you've got to be spot on where and how deep that ball lands in the court.
Yeah, and oftentimes that's the first thing you want to do, find the safe place on the court. It's really the number one purpose for an overhead, you know, is to hit a ball that your opponent can't attack, and then secondarily you want to make sure you get back in position at the net, and then third thing would be to start attacking them, moving your opponents out of position.
And Brad, just in that first match with, you know, we just didn't see Louis work that play, and the match just got so fast at the beginning where we didn't see the first set here. It must have gone pretty fast, and then Parsons and Araya, I think, had their caffeine kick in.
Right, I'm sure it was a combination of things in that first set, from a little rust from Araya Parsons, along with probably some great play from Humphreys and Assis Konig. Right on the line. Hey, Araya holds the ball better than almost anyone. He's certainly right up there. He just...
Yeah, you can see he's hit 3 neutral overheads here to start this point. He's just pushed back a little bit. There he swung more. Kind of tempted Assis Konig with his shot.
See, now it's funny, they go into different styles, and they were in a traditional style there, but Parsons didn't shift over. It's a good look there from Humphreys, and you see how Araya just stands at the net. He just dares you. You know, most players would go back there when their partner's going back like that.
It looked like Humphreys was trying to hold a shot longer
Right.
to see where Araya was going to make the move, and Juan just held his ground.
Well, these are the little things that separate the players, right? You know, and Araya's ability at the net is one of them. I mean, it's funny, people talk about the Parsons backhand. It might be the best of all time. It's certainly up there. But his forehand's not bad either. And at this point, nobody hits him a backhand, so his forehand's getting a lot better.
Percentage-wise, Parsons drives Brad. Think about it. Over the last 10 years, what percent of his drives does he put in play?
Oh, Parsons?
Like
yeah.
an inordinate amount on both sides.
Correct. He's one of the best.
I mean,
he almost never misses. And that's his signature move. You drive, you think you could take the net, but he drives it right back at your feet before you can get in. That's a great spot from Araya.
Yep, and you heard Parsons. I don't know if you heard it, Brad. He said all day to Juan. Like, they were just throwing up lobs, just chilling. They're getting plenty of opportunities.
Oh, that's just dangerous from Assis Konig. He's got to lob volley that in retreat if you got the ball under the net. Spike. Great shot there from Humphreys.
Yeah, it's hard with that lefty over in that ad court. Drew Broderick was one of the first lefties went over there, and they love that high overhead.
Ah, what a get there from Parsons. I like that overhead that Asas Koenig's hitting deep with some spin right at Araya. They can move out of the way and in.
Just when I said Parsons, what percent of his forehand and backhand drives does he make?
Well, he missed
Over
that, so
10
it's gone up to 5% now or something.
Right, he's still at 94%.
Right.
He had the look.
He did. And what's great about Araya is his confidence, and two, he just keeps his paddle in front of you. He almost dares you to go up high into his chest because his hands are so good in front of him. And the problem with going up higher is you may miss. If you don't hit him, you'll hit it out.
Yep.
40-30.
Yes.
Game. All right, up, Parsons. 1 third set.
So we're at 2-1 third set. Brad, we have some updates from the women's side. Our new team of Macy Ellett and Len Kira won their first match out of the box, as did Amy Shea and Jolene Sutter.
Nice.
And then there's a couple other, Brad.
All right, so Jade Curtis, great to see her back. And Martina Andrekova defeat Mary Truslow, Ali Van Kennel. And you have Yvonne DeKino and Keely Patrick winning against Dottie Catlin and Sarah Driscoll. So those guys are all on to the quarterfinals.
Belly, I'm here.
Yeah.
Hold on, no. Okay, hold on. I got it.
Now, Patty, do you think like a test like this is better for you? Or would you have it like a steamroll win where you win 6-2, 6-2?
You got to get those early tests because that kind of sharpens you up for your next match, which you knew as you get deeper in any draw, every match gets tougher and tougher.
Yeah. Go. Go.
It is a one-day event, Brad. You know, well, you don't see that fitness really comes into a one-day event, but some of these matches have gone on so long over the years, thus the adjustment in the scorekeeping, so that a first-round match typically can't go 3 or 4 hours anymore
Right.
with this format. And I think it's great for the sport. I think it's great for the viewers. And I think it adds a little something extra to when you're out there and you just can't go back and forth forever.
Yeah, I agree with you. And the matches are so funny the way they work out sometimes. Sometimes you play a quick one, and others it could be a 6-2, 6-1
Grind, actually, where you won handily, but every point was work.
That's a
What
great
a
block.
from Araya cross court.
Love that play from Araya. He uses a third panel smash, surprises him, and that ball should have been played by Humphreys, but there was a little confusion
Love
between the two of
15.
them in the backcourt.
Right, that's the first time I've seen Araya hit an overhead that hard with that much spin, and the ball just kept gaining pace. These guys just have to recognize that a second earlier.
Yep. It's a good overhead to use, actually. I think it actually could be played more
Well, it's that cross-court lob. The player at the net really has to get beyond a sideways stance in order to hit that third panel.
Oh, look at that. Great job from these guys covering the net.
I hear there's good news for our host pro, Max Luc-Rivert, Anton Princenko.
He is up 5-4 in the second set, Patty, against Bonfili and Herrera-Seen. So they're battling back after losing the first set 6-2. That's just great play there from Mariah Parsons and
Love
just wearing
30.
them down. And any drive they took, they were right on top of the net, volleying it back. Good point.
Man.
Yeah, you see Humphreys yelling to himself, don't reach. He could have let it go through because Asses Koenig is back. That's the play.
And he's right.
Sometimes it's tough when you're down on your knee and you're trying to come over and make that volley. Chris's lefty reached wide. Ball, Araya just got it below the level of net. Tough for anyone. Great recognition from Araya. Didn't move one step. Didn't have to. Just let that ball keep moving right to Parsons' forehand.
Yeah. The spin's going to carry it over there.
15-40.
In general, the righty spin's going to break to the right off the screen, and the lefty spin will break to the left.
Yo.
You saw Parsons just moving so nonchalantly handling that drive. Just real quiet hands.
Oh, surprising shot from Parsons there. Underneath the net, he was trying to catch him
30-40.
unaware, but it's just a high-risk shot.
Oh! Great return, Mark.
It was great return, and I thought I saw Asses Koenig look up, and the Araya presence completely made him miss that ball. We saw it in the match before with Rams and Wagner.
That's why putting that pressure on as the partner of the returner is huge in battle.
So that was a good break of serve there for Araya Parsons.
Got it.
15 love.
Yo. Yo.
Oh, he's on his heels. He's a little back in the court. Tried to hit a perfect drive cross court.
30 love.
Catches the top. I love, Patty, how Humphreys and all these players actually are battling,
What the hell is that?
but it seems like Parsons and Araya have found their stride, and right now Humphreys and Asses Koenig they're kind of searching.
40-15.
They're still battling.
40-15.
Quick shout out, Brad, to Ann Waldron, who's double duty this week, co-chair of this event, out of the Stanwich Club, and Ann is going to be helping with the live streaming, taking over the reins with Jerry Vion, Jerry's done a great job for years and phasing out and getting to travel back to Australia this year. So Ann has stepped up to the plate, became real familiar with all the live streaming last year, and is going to be our fearless leader on ground this year.
We're looking forward to a great year, and never fear, everybody. Jerry will be commentating remotely today.
She'll be remotely describing the action.
As all of us did last year, Patty.
We've had a question from none other than Blake Anderson. He's wondering if Juan's going to go into Speedos later, jump in the pool here at the Stanwich Club. I just think Juan is a lean machine, and he's got his streamlined clothing going here, Brad.
I think it's a sharp look. I've seen Araya looks over the years, and the pink, yellow tube socks up to the knee was not my favorite. This one I'm on board with.
Parsons Araya lead third set 4-1.
So at 4-1, and it's a great time to give a shout out to our buddy up in Maine, Dave Chelson. Kind of on the sidelines a little bit, hoping he's feeling better and better every day, and we get to see him at some upcoming events.
A Hall of Famer and a great person, and wish him all the best, you know.
Really one of the guys early on who, Brad, you know, on the juniors, his support of the game, love of the game. He did everything right to help this sport grow, and we hope to see him soon. Not smoking a cigar, I might say.
Well, I've had
I
many
know he's
cigars over
smoking
the
a cigar.
years with Dave, and it's always been a pleasure. He is a great friend. You're right, he's done so much for the game. Not only is he a great friend personally, he's a great friend to the game of platform tennis. And everyone in the community would be, you know, just hoping to see him out here at some point.
So we're third set, round of 16 match out of the Stanwich Club, Greenwich, Connecticut. I'm Patty Hogan alongside Brad Easterbrook.
One more. We have one more with that. It's 5.
This is Koenig, Chris Humphreys.
20, so this one.
Won the first set. As you can see, 6-2. Araya Parsons came right back really strong, won that second set 6-1, and are up 4-1 in this third and decisive match.
Yeah, they're just on cylinders.
As Brad mentioned, doing away with the traditional scoring. Today's event will be at the second deuce. It'll be a sudden death point to decide the game.
That is a great drop there from Chris Humphreys.
Sigh of relief.
30-15.
He did the hold, and he faked a little spike overhead, and then he just pulled his racket back at the moment of contact.
Sigh of relief from all the locals here. The
30,
host pro,
30.
Max Lieberwehr,
Max
and Anton
Lieberwehr.
won that second set.
Good for them.
As you said, it's, you know, when you run this tournament, Brad, there are so many things, so much planning, so much execution the day of the event. Really hard to then get on the court and focus at this highest level in our sport. But Max is finding a way.
Oh, he just couldn't get there. I think he just had a slight mystery. Humphreys got enough legs underneath him. Young guy, he can actually slide out of here on the paddle court. I've seen him done it a bunch of times.
Wow, what a shot from Parsons. Look at the speed of Rye. Just follow that play. Just charged across to that side of the court.
I think that's a perfect point. He follows the ball, gets himself in the perfect position, and there they're hitting 3 of those drives. But it didn't help him. He ends up with a put-away volley, right? He's baiting him into it on those cases.
Little ball change there, Brad.
Just taking one. Hey. Yep.
what happened to them about why in the middle of a game they switched it.
There's another one.
Maybe it was the result of another cutter.
I mean, I haven't seen this many put-away volleys in a match in a while. Araya just up there, anticipating every ball, stuffing volleys.
What a cutter.
Feeling it.
30 love.
Yep.
Brad, the score's 5-1.
Yep. Yep.
I was just told it was 5-1 by none other than Mark Fischel. He's in his Halloween black and orange.
Oh, just dictating.
40 love.
And this is
40
triple
love.
match point.
Winner here will play Rams and Wagner. It's looking like it's Orion Parsons.
Yep.
I wouldn't bet against him right now.
Odds are pretty good. I don't know anyone taking the bet.
Brad, $10.
There you go. I am a sucker, Patty, but that is just incredible stuff from Araya Parsons. We picked this up coming into it in mid-second set when when we actually thought the score was like 5-all, then possibly 3-all, when it was actually 5-0 for Araya Parsons, and they really righted the ship. We didn't get to see that first set, but like the championship team they are, they advanced to the quarterfinals.
Brad, great match, and I think the team of Fischel and Viance up next. And who are they playing against? They're commentating.
They're not playing against anyone. But they will be out here dealing some incredible commentaries. So stick around for more action right here on the APTA YouTube channel presented by eNet Live.
Thanks, Brad.
Fischel and Viance next. It was a pleasure, Patty.
Take my headset. I'm not sharing with you.
Well, this one was my headset.
Okay, okay,
And I don't want you ever touching it again.
okay, fine, be that way.
Oh, yeah. Did we take our headsets? What did we
I think we.
But you put a little pH in there.
I did with the PH. It occurred to me yesterday.
Okay. And so I think we're putting Wagner, Araya Parsons on main team. Just started the third set. Okay. Now, Araya Parsons I can allow up to 30 minutes, but I don't know.
You know what? You're going to take yours with you because he's got to get in. So I assume one of us has to get out.
Yeah.
So I'll just
Here, I'll take mine. I just didn't know if I should.
Yeah, let me talk to Jerry. Hey, Jerry, can you hear me? Wait, hold on a second.
Just tell them I can hear the mic on the court still. I can hear the commentators speaking on the main court.
Okay, can you tell them, Jackie? So, she told Juan and Mark 15 minutes, but they weren't thrilled. Do you want to give them longer? She thinks we only have to give them 15 because it's